And will you pray with me? May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be pleasing and acceptable to you, God, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. I want to start off by saying this is not a normal sermon. It requires some involvement on y'all's part for this sermon to work today, so please engage as you can and are able to. Let's see how y'all do. Y'all. You all. Sorry, my Texas is coming out. So please help me complete the following phrases. To infinity and beyond. Up, 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 and away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Nice. Good job, everyone. Now, if I have your attention, could you, if you can, raise your hands up above your head as high as you can get them? Ooh, all right. I think almost, okay, yep. I think everyone is doing it now. Okay, good job. Now we're going to start coming down and shake those sillies out of your hands. Good job. Slowly put them down back into your lap. Good job. Now I want you all to repeat after me. We're going to do a little song. I'm going to sing hello, hello, and you all sing hello, hello. Okay, good job. So you just repeat what I do. Hello, hello. Can you show a big smile? Can you show a big smile? Hello, hello. Can you blink your eyes? Hello, hello. See a friend and wave. Hello, hello. How you feeling today? How you guys feeling? Good? Yeah? Oh, okay. You know, that was pretty good and all, but do you think we could go a little faster? Yeah? Okay, let's try it. Hello, hello. Can you show a big smile? Hello, hello. Can you blink your eyes? Hello, hello. See a friend and wave. Hello, hello. How you feeling today? All right, now how are you feeling? Yeah, even better. Good job. Does anyone here feel like you might be in preschool or elementary school again? Raise your hand. Yeah? Good. That's what I'm going for. There's a reason for that. It's because these little activities were all either taken from my wife, who was a third grade teacher for 3 years, pastor now, but was a third grade teacher, or from elementary school music teachers like my friend Paige, who I talked with whenever we were planning and creating the family communion service. We wanted to design a worship service that made sense for little kids and their parents to come to. We wanted to instill rituals, just like we do rituals here in our more adult services. But we wanted to make sure these rituals made sense for little kids, like singing, hello, hello. Right. We do that song at the beginning of every service with the kids. We wanted to have a fun way for them to engage and say hello to each other. We didn't want them to sit quietly for a long hour service, and I'd actually prefer if you guys didn't sit quietly for an hour either. Like, that doesn't sound very much fun. So we also kind of kept things nice and short and sweet for the children, because they have different attention spans than us adults. And we wanted to create something that kept them engaged the whole time while we gathered together, which meant doing some things a little bit differently than we do in this service. Speaking of engagement, if you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can hear me put your hands on your head, if you can hear me put your finger on your nose but not up your nose, if you can hear me say, Ryan, get to your point already. This Sunday, we wanted to give you all, at this service and at the Worship Cafe service, a taste. Obviously not the full experience, but a taste of what a family communion service feels like. Family communion doesn't have a sermon like we do. It'd be a bit silly to try and talk to kids for 10 to 15 minutes and have them sitting still. And maybe we could argue that's not the best thing to do with adults either. I don't know. Anyone agree with that? Anyone like sitting still? No, I've seen some shaking heads, no. But Just like our adult-oriented services, Family Communion does have a central message that's woven throughout it all. We focus on a theme, and then we do music and activities that connect with that theme. And that's exactly what we're doing right here, right now, in this service. Say, it totally makes sense, Ryan. It totally makes sense. It totally makes sense during a worship series focused on Jubilee to share and practice childlike playfulness as a counterweight to the seriousness of adulthood. Everyone cross your arms for me and give me a big scowl. Go, Yeah, those are some good scowls. I like that. Can you guys do better than that? Come on. Yeah. We adults can get so stuck in our seriousness, can't we? And I can't think of a better Sunday in the church year than Ascension Sunday to challenge us as adults to reimagine the standard ways we worship together. And this is because the Ascension story is not a grounded story that lives in the realm of logic and clear reasoning. It's a story that lives comfortably in the land of dreams, an imaginative space where it easily bends the rules and limitations we assume about our world and how it works. Jesus flies in this story, folks. He literally goes to infinity and beyond. Yes, that's all we need to hear and know about this story, that it's better suited for the minds of a child than adults. It doesn't take a genius to know that children live in the realm of dreams much better than we adults do. And if we stop for a moment and allow ourselves to take a few steps back and look at this passage through the eyes of children, it reads a little bit differently. And so I'm going to actually invite Pastor Jonathan up here. He's going to help me retell this story in a bit different way. And we're going to kind of think of it as, anyone like Bluey here? Anyone seen some Bluey? This is inspired by Bluey a little bit. We're imagining a children's playtime in some ways. So, all right.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Jesus.
Oh, hi, Jesus.
Oh no, I died.
What? You died?
Yeah,
oh, no,
yeah.
That's so sad.
I'm gonna go hide in this hole over here.
I don't know what to do now. I don't know how to play by myself.
Oh, hey, don't worry about it. Guess what? Instead of tripping over my stool here, I'm back. Death is not the end of the story.
Hooray! That's super awesome.
Yeah, isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we should eat something.
Okay. Ow.
Ooh, I'm really full now.
Oh, I'm not. Ow.
You know, I'm really glad we're friends.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But I do need to go.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have to fly out of here.
Oh, you're gonna fly?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, do you think maybe we could play tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay.
Well,
bye.
Bye.
All right. And now, I'm going to ascend to the pulpit really quickly. Maybe, just maybe, the story doesn't always have to make sense. Perhaps we don't need to try and logic every piece of the story out. In the realm of dreams, we don't have to comb through every detail to explain how Jesus flies. We just have to accept the invitation that is being offered to us. The story of Jesus' ascension is all about learning to let go of our adult brain that says, that's impossible. Jesus didn't fly. And accepting God's invitation to say yes. My daughter does this hilarious thing where she sometimes says, what? When she thinks something is kind of ridiculous. So when I say, what? You say, yes, like really loudly. Let's try. What? Yes. What? Yes. What? Yes. Nice. For the disciples like Mary, she had to literally let go of Jesus so she could say, what? Yes. Yes to the new thing God was doing, where she and the other disciples could go out with joy and proclaim that the impossible had indeed happened, that Christ is alive, the gates of heaven were open. For believers in the early church, they had to say, what? Yes. They had to say yes to believing in a story of a person they had never met or seen before. Yes to an impossible dream that challenged the status quo in the kingdoms of their world. Yes to a possibility that God was still at work in their world, even though Jesus had somehow flown away. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. I'm missing a slide. That's okay. For us today, we too have to learn to accept God's invitation to say, what? Yes. Yes to dreaming like children do. Yes to our imagination and creativity. Yes to God's year of Jubilee, where we are called to live into the possibilities of more kindness, more compassion, more playfulness, and more love in a world that desperately needs an alternative vision of what could be possible. We need a faith that can truly inspire us when we find ourselves in hard times. A faith that compels us to act with the same kind of joy and proclamation as the disciples do when they go back to Jerusalem. A faith that is so compelling and so convicting that we can't do anything less than share the spirit of Jubilee with others. Yes. We aren't going to find that kind of inspiration in our adult-like minds and pragmatism. We find inspiration when we remember to dream like children do. When we let go and say, what? Yes. Yes, we can fly. Yes, we can do the impossible. Yes, we can ascend and change the world around us for the better, just like children do all the time when they play together. That is Jubilee and Ascension, my friends. That childlike belief that we can make things right in a broken world, no matter what our pragmatism says. One of the most important spaces of Jubilee for us in the Christian tradition is the sacrament of Holy Communion. And that is the most important element of the family communion service. It's why we call it family communion. We want the children and families in our church to know how important it is for us to break bread and to dream together. We want them to hear this central story every time we get together and to practice what Jesus and the disciples did after the resurrection. And we want to invite you into this holy practice of Jubilee. Please turn to your neighbor and say, you're invited. Good. Now turn to your other neighbors and say, you're invited too. Friends, we are invited into a season where we say, what to Jubilee? Yes. Amen, and thanks be to God for that.